Alright y'all, so today we're going to unbox these Gates PowerGrip hoses, or hose clamps rather. Let's take a look. Okay. So at first glance, they look a little small to me. But yeah, they're basically, the way these work, they replace your hose clamps. So the traditional worm clamp, you know, tension style clamps that aren't always reliable, the way these work, from what I understand, is you just kind of, you know, get them on the ends, both sides, and then you use a heat gun to, you know, just let them form to where they, you know, connect at the radiator or the flange side or wherever you're installing it. So I'll leave part numbers in the description, but let's go ahead and try to get these installed and see how it goes. Alright y'all, so last time I received only these two hose clamps. These are the PowerGrip shrink style. I don't know what to call them, but anyway, the way they work is you just attach them to, you know, whichever end of your hoses that you're attaching to your radiator or your radiator, you know, thermostat flange or anything like that, and you just run a heat gun around it. You know, obviously you take off this cardboard. So anyway, long story short, I've been waiting forever for these. It's recommended to me by a good Volkswagen buddy of mine. You know, he's really one of the senior guys in the entire community. And anyway, long story short, I've been wanting to try these out. So I got two of them in the mail. These are, as you can see here, 1 3/4 up to 2 inch overall diameter. So let's see what the other ones are. Okay. Yeah. And these are a little bigger at 2 to 2 1/4 inch. Okay. So I think that's pretty good. You know, obviously on this one, these are going to fit too loose, but that's kind of the point. I have one of the hoses on the other side that's kind of wide, and so I needed these sort of random sizes. But anyway, I'm going to give them a try. So now I have all the hose clamps I want. It's just for the upper and lower radiator hoses. Mainly the upper radiator hose was what I wanted to address, since this is the one-piece replacement that I found. And you can see here I gave it a little bit of a snip so that it can fit around the upper radiator's port. So here's the part number. It's from Continental. All right, so let's try to get this installed. Alright y'all, so you can see here that we got the lower radiator hose all plumbed up and nice. This one's good to go. Seals nice, and I really like how this shrink wrap worked, so I'm very impressed with that. I'm going to do this one. The only thing I need to kind of figure out here is that when it reaches this point, since I'm using an aftermarket hose, I will need to cut it long enough so that it doesn't fall short of the opening here. And they're pretty much the same size, off by maybe very little. So the shrink wrap that I have here from Gates, the PowerGrip, you can see here that it's rated for 1 3/4 up to 2 inches. So that's plenty of room for the differences in the openings. And yeah, so let me just kind of mock up what it's potentially going to look like. Okay, so this is the new hose. Again, aftermarket. I think this one comes off of a Extractor, believe it or not. But the openings are exactly what I need. So this one in here like this. Right, and obviously I got to pull the zip tie and whatnot, but I will do that, and basically I need to cut this probably around here, which I'll take some time to measure and make sure, you know, it's kind of a good spot to cut. And once it's cut, we should be able to use these shrink wrap fittings here to replace hose clamps, the standard hose clamps, because I think they suck. And then that's it. The coolant system is plumbed up and ready to run some coolant into it and, you know, get her going again. Anyway, it's a pretty tight fit down here, but that's exactly why I need something like this, because I use this aftermarket hose. And, I bought two of the bigger style ones, and they're definitely too big. I need more of the 32948, which is 1 3/4 inch up to 2 inch. So let's see. Okay. You can see it's definitely a tight fit. But it looks like it's sealing pretty good. I'm going to give it a little bit more heat just to be extra sure. Alright, so formed pretty well in there. I did give it a little bit of a tug. Still a little pliable, so I think it's about 10 minutes before it sets properly. I'm just going to let it sit overnight and let it be. But yeah, here's the part that you need. Gates 32948, 1 3/4 inch to 2 inch. And of course, you know, been using some time to clean up the engine bay a little bit more. You know, it's the best I can do with the transmission nooks and crannies. You know, all that's a little bit of missing paint and whatnot. So maybe I'll touch that up in the future. Maybe I'll redo all this wiring too. But I'm kind of going down the path of form and function. You know, car has been looking nice all these years, and that's great. But I want it to function a little bit better, and you know, this thing's going to the grave with me, y'all. So AC is a must, and kind of all these things I want to, you know, get done. But I'm so glad to be making progress, and I can't wait to fire her up soon. Alright, y'all, ran into some issues with the coolant housing flange bolt that set me back a little bit. Basically, after everything was said and done with the hose clamps, I was just getting everything back together, and I ended up stripping the bolt holes on the block side with some of this aftermarket hardware I used, and, you know, just rushing and whatever. And anyway, as you see in the earlier picture there, I ended up snapping a bolt as well. And now we're looking at a couple of these coolant temperature sensors leaking, and it's because the seals on the sensors themselves are original, like many of the other parts that I've come across. So that's my bad. You know, we're going to go ahead and get that replaced. And anyway, I'm just burning through a good bit of distilled water here, so not too much waste. And got to keep this going and get these things sorted out. Seals. Alright guys, so here are the 3 seals. Nice packaging from Urotuning. These are Euro parts coolant temperature seals. So just gonna replace those really quick, and then we'll add some fluid and make sure we're not leaking. Well, now we're leaking from up here. So that sounds great. And it just looks like this thing didn't seal quite properly. That might be how I installed it. Oh well, onward. Alrighty. So you can see that this unit did try to compensate for the outer round, but it just didn't create a good seal. And I think part of this is just the way I installed it. It might have been a little too angled with the angle of the hose opening with the port on the radiator. You know, it's kind of hard to tell, but I can't reuse this, so I'm going to toss it. The other two will remain. And I just went with a standard hose clamp here. And I'm going to keep an eye on it. You know, it's pretty filled up. Distilled water and some coolant as well. All of this is completely dry now and not a single drip, so that's definitely good. And so I'm going to keep an eye on this side just to make sure this thing doesn't leak. The bottom clamp seems to be okay. The little wetness you see is from the drip earlier. So yeah, let's see. This should be it. She's alive. Smells pretty smoky, but not too bad. Had a little bit of a lifter tick just not too long ago, but I just put the rest of the oil that I hadn't put yet. So let's see if we can take it for a quick spin. Not too far. I just want to make sure it's still doing well after being parked up for so long. See where our temps are at. Alright. Looking pretty good so far.
moments later.
All right, y'all, there you have it. It's been a long time, but she's finally running again. So excited. But yeah, for now, there's a lot of little things I still need to deal with this thing, but I'm happy with where I'm at. You know, I'm definitely making much more forward progress than I was previously, and I'm excited to keep going. I've been cleaning up the engine bay a little bit, just making things a little bit more neater. You can see here that while this looks good on camera, it's quite dull. You know, really needs a good polish. Let's not even like get started with the bar here. These are all, you know, very unique pieces to my car. And this shower curtain rod is holding up the hood because, you know, these two things have blown out. So anyway, there's, again, a lot of little things like that. I think once I deal with the remaining issue with the leak, not much left there, you'll see soon. Then it's just, you know, put the key fob stuff back in place. You know, just kind of start buttoning her back up a little bit. You know, it's been a good journey so far. I mean, I've been able to get my garage together a little bit. You know, have a space to work in now. Secure storage, you know, just function. So here's the remaining leak to be dealt with. You can kind of see it here at the bottom hose clamp area. Basically, that thing has failed, and this is just after a little bit of the start and driving. I think after a couple of these, I'm done messing with it, and going back to the standard clamp is the best bet now. Alright, gang, well, running pretty good. Needs a lot of things, like an alignment. I took it for a little drive just now and it was pretty off center and really rickety. But anyway, put that new clamp in and now there are no more leaks whatsoever. Fans are kicking on as normal. It's looking good. Alright, y'all, so there you have it. That's going to be a wrap. So there's a few lessons learned here, obviously, with this coolant system overhaul. Try to use OEM hardware wherever you can. In my case, that would have saved me a lot of headache and time, and having to, you know, seek out bolts and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, also, same thing with the hose clamps that we ended up using. They're nice to look at and, you know, really like show quality type of stuff. But if there's any sort of bend or, you know, ridge or, you know, any part of the flange, anything that you're going to be, you know, putting some pressure against, those hose clamps just, they don't hold up. So unfortunately they didn't work out the way I was hoping they would, but that's the lesson learned. So yeah, anyway guys, hope you like the video and the content here. And I hope you guys got to check out the video of the gas ATL monthly meet. Alright, hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching. Peace.